Just look at that view. Aren't we fortunate to live in a place that has a view like that right on our doorstep? If you'd come here in the 1920s, you'd have a very different view behind us here. What you would see is an outdoor swimming pool. Maybe back then in the 1920s the water temperature was much warmer, I don't know, but people used to flock to Dunbar to swim out in the open in the sea. But if we went back a long time, back to the 7th century, all this would be very much different again. The castle wouldn't be there, the harbour wouldn't be there, definitely no swimming pool anywhere to be seen. But over there, just behind me, round about there, is a cave that we often call the Eye Cave because it's got a great big eye painted on the wall. But just next to it is another cave that you might not have noticed before because usually you can't get to it because of the sea, but you could see that on a low tide. And in that cave, the story is that a lady called St Bay used to live there. And I'm going to ask Vicky to tell us all about St Bay.
So, Emma, we are here to talk about St Bay today. So we know a little bit about her, but I'm just thinking some of the people listening might not know anything at all.
No.
Like even the fact that she is Dunbar's patron saint.
Or even the fact that she is a she.
Indeed.
Uh-huh.
I know. I have to admit, when I first moved to Dunbar and I saw the name of St Bay in different places around the town, I just kind of assumed it was a man. I don't know why. That's quite bad, isn't it?
Isn't it? Yeah.
But yes, she's a she. Yeah. So
when did she live? Do you know?
Well, there's lots of question marks around this. She was probably a 6th or possibly 7th century woman, but there was actually another woman called St Bay in a different part of the country as well, or Baya, I think she was also called. And
so that gets confusing.
But it makes it quite fun. It means that there's lots of like mystery, and you can kind of follow all of these little trails and go, oh, I wonder if. And so that's what we've got with our St Bay. Lots of mystery. It is cool, isn't it?
And so we've come to this beach because we think that she lived in a cave here.
That one that's just over there, possibly, near to the Eye Cave. We don't really know for sure, though. But we had a look, didn't we? We had a good look at it to imagine what that would be like.
It was a bit slippery.
It was a bit slippery. I don't know, what do you think it would have been like?
Well, I think it would have been... I think it looked really cosy. Like right at the back, there's this bit that looks like just the right size for a person, and a few bits. She probably didn't have many belongings.
No.
Because people didn't have many belongings then, did they?
Yeah,
there
that's
weren't
true.
any shops in 520 or whenever she lived.
Yeah.
And there's the thing I'd wondered about before we came down was what she did for water, because you can't drink seawater.
Of course.
But there's a little spring that comes down there. We came down from Bayswell Road, and I think that people used to come, after she founded her church here, people used to come here to drink the water.
Yeah, they did
to get a blessing and maybe to help them start a family, or if people were having problems, they would come here to get blessed by that water. And it's really exciting just to see the
Isn't that
spring
lovely
trickling
to
down.
imagine?
And she must have drunk from that water, maybe washed in it.
Yeah.
Although people didn't wash as much as they do now.
No. It was a lot more hassle. I find it strange to imagine living in a cave, though. But I guess, so she was a holy woman, someone who had decided to serve God with her whole life, and so I suppose she chose to live very simply.
But I think people have always, since human civilization started, there's been that tendency for people to want to get away from it a bit and just be closer to God and to nature, and just to get away from civilization.
Vicky and Emma's story was so inspiring that I just had to go and have a look at the cave for myself. So here we are under the kittiwakes, just beneath the swimming pool, and behind me is St Bay's cave, and that's where St Bay was supposed to have lived. Now I'm going to have a closer look, but I'm going to have to be careful because these kittiwakes might do the business on my head, so I should have brought an umbrella really. Here we are inside St Bay's cave, and you can see just behind me, I don't know if you can see that, but there's water running in there, so maybe that's where she got her a drink from, so she could have a cup of tea in the morning. Oh, look at that just behind me, there's a pool. I wonder if that's where St Bay had a bath. We don't know if the story of St Bay is true or not. Maybe some parts of it have been imagined. But if it is true, this is the view that she would have woken up to each morning. And that is a view that will hardly have changed in all these years. So St Bay is somebody who chose to live here in Dunbar and to bring with her the message of the Christian faith. And ever since people like St Bay came to Dunbar, the church here has continued to grow and exist. And as we saw at the start of the week, there's lots of different churches scattered all around Dunbar and the surrounding villages.